Hi, hello, it's thieleaf. I thought I'd be doing a little bit of a video to show kind of where I've been books-wise recently. I've still not actually been in my journal. Part of that is because my partner, who is a teacher, has been off now for the US summer holidays. Very different to when the summer holidays are here in the UK. But it's meant that we've been calling a lot, so I don't know, I've been less in my books and also more in my books. That's still been a thing that's been ongoing. I don't actually know if I've talked about it too much. I know I've recorded some things, but I can't remember if I've actually posted them. It seems that editing is my enemy. So I think from here on out, I might just have to not really edit things going forwards. We'll see how that goes. But yes, I've got some books to show. I can just also show that my journal has not been used if I just grab this. I really do like the stickers and the layout and stuff. But this was Sunday the 10th, and was Sunday the 10th of May. And I've just not been in here since. And I don't really mind. I don't really want to just be filling the pages of this for the sake of it. My main use case for this book is to kind of think my thoughts onto paper, and I haven't really been having too many thoughts that aren't related to special interests, so there's been no need for it, and I just feel like it's performative, if even to myself, to be doing it for the sake of it. Not performative as in, like, you know, to show people, but you know, otherwise. Oh, also, by the way, my one of my nails broke, so I had to shorten all my nails. I didn't shorten these ones because it's so jarring. My hands just feel like they look completely different. And if you think that my nails are still not that short, it's actually as physically short as it will go. My nail bed kind of extends beyond my fingertip. Very strange. Yes. Sorry if this looks strange to have two different length of nails. Anyway, but yes, so I did finally get some catching up in my copy paste, which I will show. I finally moved into my new sketchbook, and I have this whole book, which I don't think I've explained yet, and we'll get into that actually. A little bit first, I think I'll just show very briefly my weeks. I've not been doing much health tracking, but I have been doing, you know, my normal, like, weekly planning. This like line at the side here was that my partner was away at their parents'. They are now away again, so I have to deal with that. That's kind of why I'm making a video, and also why I haven't been making videos, is that we've been kind of spending all of the time that we have awake in calls with each other, so, you know. Yes, so there's that. I have a little post-it note here of the things I need to catch up on for my copy paste. These are like the pens that I have inked. There was a whole entire other sticky note, but I managed to get through, so well done me. I just haven't been doing anything in my health tracking. It's just not been relevant. I've been too, I don't know, it's the same as it ever is. The tracking the calls, though, we had a fantastic, very colourful month. So this one was May. I just didn't track for April. This one was May. I track the episodes of, and not just episodes, sometimes films and other things that we watch, which I track in these things, just so I know what episode of things we're on, and so I can see fun things like how often we watch or rewatch certain things. And then I write the times that we call. I have started shifting to doing it in 24-hour clock style, just because it started to get really confusing as my days have kind of shifted. I've been going to bed at like 8 to 10 a.m. So, you know, for context, if you aren't aware, my partner lives in America. We have a 7-hour time zone difference, and as they're on their holidays, we've just been going to sleep at the same time and waking up at the same time. But yes, May, we spent 223 essentially hours calling each other, which is normal, for sure. We do spend a lot of our calling time, like, kind of just body doubling, like, not actually talking, but, you know. And each of these squares represents, like, a quarter of an hour. And then there was this one, for June. I only just had enough space, like, there was only these other squares before I would have to start filling in, like, actual squares of the days. We were lucky in that this was the last week that my partner was teaching, so this one doesn't actually have very many hours of us calling, and then this one is a day we couldn't call, and then there are 3 days we couldn't call here, and these days they were at their parents', so we could only call for like 2 or 3 hours. Oh no, like 1 or 2 hours. So that's why I had enough space. They're now at their parents again for this. We did watch another episode, although was that... No, that was okay. What was that thing? Yeah, so there's that. I will have to at some point consider letting these squares be half an hour rather than rather than a quarter, but who knows? Anyway, anyway, there's that. It's been fun. I still haven't added any more stickers to this. We'll have to see. At some point I should find some other stickers to go on here, but yep. Oh, I did have to restick them actually with some more glue, but now that they've been stuck with glue, they are fully stuck, which is neat. I'm just gonna put this to the side. My pocketbook going the same as ever. I'm really, really close to the end, and I haven't been using it too much. I think I've got, yeah, that many pages, and then that's something else. So really, really not that many pages left to go. But I did pick up a new lined midori A6, and I also picked up what I think I'm actually going to go with next is a plain one, just to see how that goes. So that one will be the one I'm moving into. I've been experimenting in ways to mark off things as having, you know, relocated them. I tried the Deco Rush, which I hated. You can also see the highlighter that I landed on. I tried stamps, and then it occurred to me I can just use my highlighters. There's really no need to not just use the mild liners that I have. I'm currently working on that one at the moment. But yes, so I've been kind of working on relocating some of the stuff, and making sure I mark when I have. Yeah, nothing much to report in any changes or anything on this one. Now, I think my copy paste is the next interesting thing. I hadn't been using it for quite a while. Let me find where I was. So, especially if I go back. Yes, okay, so I was using it normally, I would say, in February. So this is, you know, 15th February, 16th, 23rd, 24th, 26th, 26th, and then the 2nd of March. And then we have the 28th of April, and then we go all the way until the 15th of June. I just wasn't interested in it, and again, like my journal, I just didn't really see the point in forcing it. But I have now caught up. I think I've talked before that there were some pens that I had kind of stopped using, but I had already written out all of the like boxes for these. And so I did go about doing that, and filling them, and I filled a lot in the span of a couple days, honestly. But you can see things like this, where this was when I had originally inked the pen, and hopefully it will show, but it had darkened very significantly. And my solution was to add water to the not the converter, the cartridge, or the converter, I guess, as well. So hopefully you can see that over time it got a bit lighter. Yeah. I had to do that with quite a few of these because I hadn't even used them. I have some recordings of writing out some of these, just like some background noise videos. I am, now that I'm committing to not editing videos, I am just going to post those. But I wanted to make a video where I say that I'm just not going to edit things further. I think this was the last one that I had, you know, planned out. And so now we get onto the pens that I had still been using, but that I've now decided to stop using, essentially, now that they're in here. And I tried out some different layouts. You can see that the border is not all the way to the edge, like these have been. I just prefer that, I think. And I tried making these margins smaller. I didn't like this, I changed that in a bit. And I've instead started doing one slightly bigger margin, only on one of the pages. And I do like that, but I don't like how there's like a line left over on the other side. And so we get to here, where I also decide to do the name of the pen and the ink across the top here. This is a very pale ink. You can see Wearing Cool White Rabbit and in a Sailor Perfect Casual. So a fine nib. So I've got that one line dividing, and then on this next page, that's the same page, or the same sheet of paper there, and there's no line here. And then on this page, there's no line here, and there is on that one. And I think I'm going to try that until here. That's how much I filled out in advance, and we'll see how that goes. That might be nice, just because I was noticing that while there are some pages where I do have a lot to say, there are then others that are often part of the same like entry where I don't have that much to say, and I normally only fill one of the lines, right? Like this could have been all on one. That one is left empty, this one is mostly left empty. So yeah, I just thought I might, this one doesn't have anything. Yeah, I thought that might be a useful update. Since my last video, I have actually inked up a couple more pens. Maybe I should pull them out. I have to move something to do that. That's good enough for now. So I have the Go Sport Blush Pitaya with a fine nib for Lennon Toolbar Matcha. Let me see that. I have the Go Sport Cyan, which doesn't actually look like this in person. It's a little bit more teal in person. It's a very strange color to get in on camera. And that one is an extra fine, and that one has Diamine Pink, just a very, very bright pink color. It's so much more pink than it shows up on camera. Then I have my Amazonite Twisby with an extra fine nib with Butter and Strawberry Bagel by Kitty Inkpot. I'll get on to talking about some of the Kitty Inkpot things. I'm aware this is very pale for a lot of people, but if you see my normal writing, like there, it actually isn't that bad for me. And the camera doesn't show the, there's like a halo around all of my letters that's like a bluish purple. It's really, really cool. The Cream Rose Gold Twisby with a fine nib has Weathered Manuscript, which is a sample that Bucky gave me, that I've been wanting to put in this pen specifically for quite a while now, and I just kept not doing it, and I just decided to do it. Go ahead. Another Kitty Inkpot ink Molten Ginger Cookies at the market in the Cafe Bronze. Also want a fine nib. I've been overall starting to really prefer my extra fine nibs for my Twizzpies. But I have this. I don't think it shows up properly on camera, but you can see the strange like bluish green in the middle of some of the letters, but I don't know how well that shows up on camera. And then this one, I actually switched it from the black puppy into this one. But yes, I inked this one up with Lan Chulba's Mujia Guanyin in the fine nib. This one still has Hara Hara. Essentially, I just swapped, you know, this with the cap and the body, so that it made more sense to me. Yes, Hara Hara is still in the extra fine nib, and then this one is now Mujia Guanyin. I mostly just inked it up because I was going to be seeing friends, and I wanted to have a fountain pen that I could like let anyone use. And if any of my friends were like curious, I could just be like, well, borrow it for a few days. That didn't end up happening, mostly because we just talked about a lot of other things. But yes, so there's that. Sorry, this is a bit all over the place, but you know, that's how it is. So yeah, that's my copy paste book, and it's not in its cover, not for any reason other than that the like bump here was just becoming really annoying for writing on this side of the page, so I just have taken it out and it's just been like this. Okay, next, I guess because I've been talking about my inks, I'll just briefly talk about my sketchbook. I haven't even actually properly finished my last one. I still have some pages, like there's this one that doesn't have any drawing on it. There's this one, there's this one. There's a drawing on the other page and I'm not sure how much I should show off actually. I don't think it's that bad, I just don't. Anyway, this one. These I did a really nice, I really liked how this turned out, and then I got too scared to draw the other half because I'd already done well on that one. Let me see him. And then I think these things have been seen. I haven't been drawing that much. But yeah, I decided, because I was seeing friends and we were kind of having a bit of a body doubling, like crafting, drawing, writing kind of like meetup, that I would bring my new sketchbook. I only did one drawing and I really hate his face because the lighting on the photo I was working from was bad. It's a really funny image. But I've got my inks in the background of this one. And then I've got some of these set up from, like this is the butter and strawberry bagel. It's very neat. More amamayoi drips, molten ginger cookies in the night market, not night market, just at the market. Absolutely fascinating. I love the way that it came out. Really excited to draw on this. Kitty Inkpot caressing the pale moon. This was because this is the one sample that kind of leaked, and so this was just the ink that was left over in like the vacuum seal bag. Diamond Pink from when I inked up the Kavako. It's much more pink in person, but you know, that's just how it shows up here. And then more Diamond Pink, but a little bit more diluted. Hara Hara. Drops. This unfortunate page, which was Hara Hara, and then I really didn't like how it went, so I decided to put another ink on top of it too, which is the London Toolbar Miscanthus Hills. And I didn't like that either. I think I should have just done what I did here, which was just, after the ink had dried, putting water on top. Like there's some there too. But you know. And then there's this one, Caramel Almond Waffles, from Kitty Inkpot, that's split into crazy colours. There's like a neon yellow going on in some of here. Hopefully you can see some of that. Was not the colours I was expecting. Especially considering, let me grab my swatch book. on the same exact paper, the swatch I have looks like this. And then it looks like this with water. And even more so, a little baffling is that the swatch on original Tomorrow paper looks like this. And then it just, I didn't expect the neon yellow. And then there is, yeah, Weathered Manuscript by Total Romance, the ink that Bucky gave me. Yeah, I'm looking forward to drawing on all of these. Because that is my, I just do this in the background and then I draw on it. It's comforting to me to not draw on a blank page. Okay. I guess I should mention, actually, having said that, I ended up being able to get some samples of Kitty Inkpot inks and Dream inks, actually. And I do have a video of swatching some of them, but I've mostly just been swatching like one or two every now and then. So far in my book, I have swatched. I'm just going to show them. I'm not going to read it every single one out. Yeah, that's a collective traced, collection traced, not Kitty Inkpot or Dream. And feel free to pause or like slow down or anything to have a look at these. But yeah, those are the ones that I've swatched so far. There are many more that I have. I kind of want to swatch them out slowly so that I kind of I'm more acquainted with them. If I were to swatch them out all in one go, I would not really remember any of them individually. Whereas this way, I'm able to kind of hold them more in my mind, kind of similar to the Inkvent ones, actually. I had the 2023 Inkvent, and because I did swatch them out each day, one each day, I kind of had a memory of each of them. Yeah, so there's been that. I've gone from having absolutely no samples to having 5 samples that Bucky gave me, which I'm still very grateful for. It makes me happy every time I think about it. And then here's my box that I keep inks that don't have inks that don't have boxes. My box of inks that don't have boxes. So we can see I've got a lot of samples. There's quite a few. I believe there are 65 of these 2 milliliter samples. And then I also have the mystery ink that they gave me and also one of the 5 milliliter samples. If they did all of their samples, this is from so-and-so, of course. If they did all of their samples in these glass bottles, I would have gotten many more of these, but I really don't like the eyedropper bottles. So, but yes, I've got a bunch of these. The dots are to signify that I have swatched that one. These two are all Kitty Inkpot ones, and then these are Dream Collection Traced. I think there's a couple. This one is Hosia Ink Studio, and I think there is maybe there is a Wearing Glue one. I think I got Age of Innocence. Yeah, I got Age of Innocence. That's why there's these separating that. These are all Dream inks. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to just getting through them slowly. Yeah. This to the side. Okay, and now this notebook. I guess it's a little bit 2 notebooks. Let me get my other one. So people may have remembered my my media analysis and fanfiction notebook. So at the halfway point is where I started doing media analysis. That's why this little washi tape is here. Just showing that. So like Beauty and the Beast, Princeps Sword from Dimension 20, Beauty and the Beast again, Silent Hill 2 remake, Tokyo Mew Mew. Did I not write my Anastasia thoughts? I guess I never wrote those up, huh? And then there's some Star Trek things. So this is the book Price of the Phoenix, and this is some of my notes on the book for the first few pages. Legitimately only the first 10 pages. Additional observations of an episode, other observations of an episode. And then there was, of course, the, you know, many pages of one episode up to there. And then there was my more, like, fanfiction style things of, you know, the scenes that I'm particularly thinking of. I think that's it for that one. Which I do the same thing with, you know, original characters and also Adventure Zone. Before I was into Star Trek, which is from here. Can't really show as much of that stuff because I wasn't writing in my unreadable handwriting. And I don't want to have to like check every single page to see if I can show it or not. But yeah, I decided that my love of Star Trek is grown to the point where it felt like it was taking over this book, and I still wanted this to be for overall, you know, media analysis and like fiction, and so I decided that I would just make a Star Trek book, which is what this is. And then I really debated for quite a long time about what book I was going to move into. Part of me really wanted to buy, for some reason, I wanted to buy one of the Stalogies, specifically the Aurora colors. I have been thinking about Stalogy for quite a while anyway. But then I realized I did have this book. This is original Tomorrow paper. It's the A5 Hobonichi plain grid notebook. And I'd originally bought this for my journal usage, but I've really discovered now that I really prefer the books that are more like this one, where they have the just single signature. I really prefer that. I'm able to let them bulk up a little more. I don't have to pull any pages out because I have had two of this book as my journal. And what I did was I pulled out a leaf from every signature to kind of account for bulking. But also I've discovered I don't actually think I like doing all of my decorative stickers on Tomoe River paper, partly because the adhesive of the sticker kind of bleeds through the paper after not that much time. Sorry, I suddenly was unable to speak. Yeah, and I don't really care about my journals being a permanent thing. I know that they are going to degrade over time, but the speed at which that happens is quite concerning and just annoying to me. So yeah, I knew I wasn't going to use this notebook for any journaling, and so I decided to use it for this. And so this first section of the book from here is analysis. So here's some of the book that I was talking about, and if you want to know how in-depth I've been getting on this analysis, from here to here is quite legitimately from here to here. It turns out when a book is well written and makes really good use of its prose, you can say a lot about it, you know, how the choice of rhythm or assonance or, you know, portrays certain feelings across. It's really great stuff. And then, you know, episode things. This is another episode I watched. It wasn't even all of my thoughts on the episode. It was kind of that I watched it with another friend, and my kind of immediate thoughts after having watched it that second time. But I'm writing in my very not readable handwriting, as you can see. Well, there's quotes that are in there are quotes that are that I write in a readable way, but overall not. I can read my handwriting, which is what matters. But yes, the way I've been writing things has been, you know, to do a title in this much bigger writing. Any kind of, you know, this is season 1, episode 8/10, depending on if you include the pilots or not. And then writing the date in these sections that I'm writing so that I can just kind of continue. So this is the 28th, and then this was the 3rd, and then this was the 6th. So I just kind of went on from where I left off. And then at some point on the page, I write the ink I'm writing with. And so sometimes I use the same ink across multiple days, and then other times I will change as I reach a change in date. Right there is where I changed inks. And I do my borders in just the ink of when I start that page, essentially. Yeah, so this is my analysis side, and sometimes they're not episode specific, like this is the end of season 3 into the movie. I have 2 different interpretations for the end of season 3, and this is one of them. And then, yeah, this. And I've already decided that my next pen that I'm going to be writing with is that one. So I've just already put that one down. Yeah, I started numbering the pages too, so I can see. And I keep this pencil board in here so that when I write, I'm not resting my hand on the paper. Yeah, like that. And then we flip the book over. And then from the back of the book, but working as the front, this is the essentially fanfiction style stuff. Again, same kind of thing, and I do write like a little description. You can see the change in ink that happens just there, which I think is neat. Yeah. Unfortunately, you can't see the colors properly until they're like right up against my phone, because it just really ups the contrast. Yeah, this has been very fun. I've been enjoying it a lot, getting to do this. And I'm surprised at how much I don't mind the A5. I've always felt like A5 was a bit too big for me to just write across like this. Specifically because of the size of my handwriting, really. I mean, we can't deny it. My handwriting is quite small. Like that's not really something we can deny, is that my handwriting is very small. And I just always felt like this is not, I don't know, it's just always felt a little bit strange. But I'm actually finding I don't mind it. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'm looking forward to filling this. I'm looking forward to seeing also where the 2 points end up meeting, like how much into the middle they meet. I think if I'd have done this in astrology, I would have done it slightly differently, in that maybe it would be like this side of the page would be analysis and this side would be fanfiction, possibly. I don't know how I would have done it. Yeah, so that's that book. And this has been why I haven't been journaling so much, is that I've been, you know, doing a lot of other pursuits. I mean, I've also been with my partner. We've been really working on, well, my partner has been the one who's been writing, because I'm not a writer. I know I've just shown you that I write all of this stuff, but this is not, I'm not putting much craft into the actual writing of this at all. Like, this would not be publishable fanfiction. Not because of any of the content, but because I've not actually written it in a way that is designed to be read. Whereas my partner is a really, really good writer. So we've been working on things. They actually not to gush about them, but they did write a 90,000 word fic in 2 weeks. And it's well crafted. They wrote 8 poems for it. 8 poems that specifically had to convey that they were translated but the language that they are translated from is not a real language, it's a fake language. So they had to get across conventions of a language that doesn't exist, but that they've decided rules for. Have it sound like a translated poem, which means it's clearly not written in that language, but it has been adjusted so that it still sounds good in English. Incredible stuff. Also, of course, thematically relevant to the story being told. We work together a lot on the things that they write, and really care a lot about, like, you know, taking the craft of writing seriously, even if it is fan fiction, to be like, how are we exploring, you know, certain themes? How are we carrying through those themes? What things do we not say and leave that up to the audience to interpret and stuff, you know, just writing craft. It's very fun. We've been enjoying that a lot. Anyway, my point being, I don't write properly. I just have ideas, and write them down, so that I can see them again another time. I've liked doing that. Sometimes I go through my books from ages ago and I think, oh yeah, I remember having this idea. I just knocked something to the floor. But no, like specifically I have these, I have a lot of these, which are, you know, on receipt papers and stuff. But it's fun to look back through them sometimes and be like, oh yeah, this is a thought that I had. Some of these are truly, like, I believe about 10 years old now. Very fun. Anyway, yeah, that's where I've been. That's where I've been and that's what I've been doing. I do have some other unedited videos that I plan on sharing, and I don't plan on editing this one, and I hope that's not too much of a bother. I know I talk fast at least, so hopefully it shouldn't be like dragging on because I'm talking slow or like pausing for long periods of time, but it does just mean that I have a lot of ums and there's a lot of disjointed moments. I'm gonna try and get better at like using the pause recording. I think I did that for one of my just kind of quiet ambient noise videos. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I plan on actually doing some swatches of some of the kitty ink pot inks that I've got. There are some swatches that I did from here, but I actually plan on, I bought a pad of Irofu paper, and I've got some swatches on it that I've just been doing as I've been swatching these kitty ink pot inks. This was just from a piece of the paper, but I plan on making one of these swatch books the same way, and I kind of thought I might take you on a journey of doing that, although that's going to be harder to do unedited, but we'll see. Maybe it's not that bad. Maybe it's not like a terrible idea to just force people to it's not forcing people, but to not have something that's as polished as I would like it to be. Yes, anyway, I think that's everything. I just wanted to talk about my books and my new way of using things. I'll definitely update when I start using my journal again, but for now I'm not using it, and that's okay. I'll use it when I want to. Oh, I guess I should also mention I don't use stickers in here at all. I just don't have interest in that. I think I've said that before. The stickering and decorating is a completely different activity to me than the writing, so it doesn't really kind of mesh to me to be putting decorations when I'm talking about something else. Okay, anyway, that is everything. I think. I'm pretty sure. If it's not, then it can wait until another video. Thank you for watching, if you did. My stomach just made a noise. Okay, it's time to go. Bye-bye.